My name's Benji. I am a half Japanese rapper and singer-songwriter, raised in the southwest, now based in Bristol. At the moment I'm making a lot of hip-hop, kind of quite Loyal Kana, Kofi Stone influenced, but I also do grime, garage, drill, jungle. If you can rap on it, I'll give it a go.
Asian invasion imminent, you're not even India. I come to life and I feel it, I bring the vibe and I'm feeling it. Asian invasion on the horizon, and you better cut down because you're rich. Hardest time and the hardest, ain't better not in one than alone. And the left one, you know what I said to the next one. Like, hey, you take out the left one. Change it, goes to the left one. I think you know when it comes down to the goal.
I'd say that Benji, kind of as a brand, as a sound, is very experimental. Not necessarily in terms of the actual sounds I'm creating, but more in terms of like, I'm very open-minded. It's very collaborative. But yeah, I think it's just all about working with people and just positivity as well. Like, I'm not, it's not the kind of the corny bars where I'm sort of, yeah, love each other, all of that stuff. But generally the vibe is a positive one. Coming from Cornwall and representing the southwest, you know, we're still in the southwest in Bristol, so that's a big part of my brand and my identity. But also being half Japanese, being Asian, like there's not a lot of Far East Asian rappers in the music industry, so that's definitely something I push. I'd say being half Japanese influences my music in a couple of different ways. Definitely in terms of like brand image and aesthetic, like all my kind of aesthetics and images and branding that I use, I try and incorporate Japanese elements into it. Like my press colours are always red, black and white, but also there's points where I'll use Japanese in my lyrics, although I kind of like try and save that for special occasions. I'm not fluent, trying to get fluent, but yeah, and I think as well, just in terms of the way I approach, and this isn't just for rap, I think just the way I approach like anything that I'm working on is that thing of like discipline. Like it's that kind of, if you're going to do something, do it to your fullest potential and don't faff around with it. Favourite thing about Japan is food, straight up. Like, big love to the family, like, love you all, but there's just something crazy about the food. I'm going back in December to the motherland, and I cannot wait. Me and my bro, like, we're going to travel all around, and we've budgeted most of our budget is food. I want to go and try like proper ekiben. Ekiben is the food that they have like on the Shinkansen, on the trains, on the bullet trains, and I want to sit down and just have a proper nice little lunchbox, because I think in comparison to like, you know, the fare that GWR offers, their biscuits and a cup of tea, it's gonna be mind blowing. I would say that moving to Bristol has effectively defined me as an artist. I wouldn't consider myself an artist at all before I came to Bristol. I think meeting people for a start, inspiring people, like the scene in Bristol is so supportive, and if you're not a supportive person, you're not collaborative, it stands out and people notice that. Generally it's a really tight-knit scene. But also just being surrounded by people, yeah, like that are encouraging you and saying, let's do this, let's try this, makes a huge difference. Collaborating is one of my favourite things to do as an artist. I think it helps. I think the coolest thing about collaborating with other artists is that you can kind of go from being complete strangers, and then you're just like sat in a booth or in a studio with someone, and you're like, right, especially if you're writing something more emotional, you're just like completely opening up to someone. And when you're in a session and you're just bouncing off each other, and you start with literally nothing, and then by the end of like 2-3 hours, you have an entire song. I just think that process is incredible, and it's one of my favourite things, like the fact you start with a blank canvas and then you and someone else from a completely different background, completely different experiences, together you just create this whole sound. I'm just like, that's insane, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Wow.
I would say generally being a musician is quite a challenging experience. Like, I think there's various people that have said this, but you've got to be a little bit delusional in order to think that you're going to make it, because I think every musician is trying to envision themselves in a place that they are not, and that is delusion. And there's points where the delusion slips and you kind of go, what am I doing? I am putting like so much time and effort and money into this thing which I don't know if it's going to pay off or not. And it's those kind of points where you're like, is it worth it? And then you'll do something like a big show, or someone will come up to you and say something, and you're like, nah, this is fine, this is worth it.
Yeah, and now we chilling and we're vibing. I said we chilling and we're vibing. Yeah, I said we chilling and we're vibing. 9 lives wanted to count on just rap. I got 8 bars and 8 stars, no don't stop. I was 7 when I got a guitar. The first part came through.
I think both Benji and Kai Benjamin are going to come out of uni. I think I'm definitely going to continue doing music. Like, I love, it's my, my main passion in life. But I think the direction that takes might change potentially. I'm working on some really exciting stuff at the moment with like live musicians, live instrumentation, kind of working towards a collective, and I'm really keen to start doing shows outside of Bristol, because I think it's quite easy to get stuck in Bristol, and so much love for Bristol. Like, I think it's it's made me who I am, but also really excited to start doing stuff outside and kind of seeing how far I can go with it.